sixth patriarch Huineng lived during the 7th and 8th centuries CE under the Tang dynasty. His teachings about sudden enlightenment and the doctrines of no thought in the Dharma Jewel Platform Sutra are considered a fundamental text of Chan Buddhism. These are the only teachings of a Chinese high monk that are considered by Buddhists to be a sutra. Huineng began life in 638 AD as the son of a peasant worker in Linnan in the Thi'en province. His father had been banished from Fanyang and died early in Huineng's life. After the death of his father, Huineng and his mother moved to Nanhai, where they continued to live in poverty while Huineng earned money selling firewood. One day, while delivering kindling to a customer's shop, Huineng came across a man reciting the Diamond Sutra. All bodhisattvas, compassionate ones, should develop a pure mind which clings to no thing whatsoever, and so he should establish it. After hearing the scripture, Huineng's mind began to open, and he was instantly enlightened. He asked the man what he was reading and where he had received the scripture. The man told Huineng it was the Diamond Sutra and encouraged him to visit the Eastern Meditation Monastery in Huineng Prefecture in Chai Province. This is where the great master Hong Chen, the 5th Grand Master of the Chan Buddhism, was teaching. He had traveled there to listen to the scripture. He explained that the Grand Master's teaching said that keeping the Diamond Sutra will make you able to see your own essential nature and directly realize Buddhahood. After talking with the traveler, Huineng received 10 ounces of silver from one of his customers to take care of his mother while he went to call on the 5th Grand Master. Upon reaching the 5th Grand Master, Huineng was asked about his purpose for traveling to Huineng. To this he replied, "I am a peasant from Thi'en province in Linnan. I have come from far away to pay my respects to you only because I seek to be a Buddha, nothing else." To which the 5th Grand Master replied, "You are a southerner and an aborigine. How can you be a Buddha?" Huineng explained, "People may be southerners or northerners, but the Buddha nature originally has no south or north. As an aborigine, my social status is not the same as yours. What difference is there in our Buddha nature?" As Huineng and the 5th Grand Master spoke, a crowd began to gather and listen. Once the 5th Grand Master noticed this, he assigned Huineng chores to do until they could talk at a later time. Huineng was sent to work in the mill, splitting wood and pounding rice. He would continue this work for 8 months. The 5th Grand Master later explained to Huineng, "I think your insight is reliable, but I was afraid bad people would harm you, so I didn't talk to you. Do you realize this?" Huineng replied, "I do know your intention. That is why I didn't dare walk in front of the auditorium, lest one be careless." One day the 5th Grand Master called upon all of his disciples and asked them, "I tell you, for people in this world the matter of birth and death is serious. You lot just seek fields of blessings all day long and do not seek to get out of the ocean of misery of birth and death. If your own nature is confused, how can blessings save you? Let each of you look into your own wisdom, grasp the insightful nature of your own basic mind, and compose a verse to show me. If you have understood the great meaning, I'll bequeath to you the robe and the teaching, and make you the 6th Grand Master." Many of the disciples believed that Master Shen Xiu would get the robe due to his senior status and the fact that he himself was a mentor to many of the disciples. Although many believed that Shen Xiu would succeed in this task, Shen Xiu himself found it to be a struggle. He wanted to be clear and present a verse that would seek teaching and not be seen as seeking headmaster. In a 4-day period, Shen Xiu made 13 unsuccessful attempts at presenting his verse to the 5th Grand Master. Each time he reached the end of the hallway and the auditorium door, he began to sweat and feel faint. Shen Xiu decided that it would be better to write the verse on the walls of the hallway where a mural representing the Lankavatara Sutra and the succession of the 5 Grand Masters of Chan was to be painted. That night he painted his verse on the wall, which read, "The body is the tree of enlightenment. The mind is like a clear mirror stand. Polish it diligently time and again, not letting it gather dust." Upon seeing the verse the next morning, the 5th Grand Master decided not to paint the mural, but instead leave the verse up and have the recite it, saying, "Just leave this verse for the people to recite. If they act in accord with this verse, they will avoid falling into evil ways. There is great benefit in acting according to this verse." Later in the night, the 5th Grand Master called for Shen Xiu to ask if he had written the verse. Shen Xiu explained that he had, but not to seek the Grand Master, rather to see whether or not he had wisdom. The Grand Master explained that the verse showed he had not met his fundamental nature. He was sent to reflect for a day or two and to compose another verse. A boy in the mill passed by Huineng one day reciting the verse Shen Xiu had written. Upon hearing the verse, Huineng realized that the verse didn't reveal the fundamental essence. Huineng had not heard about the assignment the Grand Master had given the disciples. He asked the boy to take him to the verse. Huineng, being illiterate, had the verse read to him and was then helped by Chang Chi Young to write his own verse. It read, "Enlightenment originally has no tree, and a clear mirror is not a stand. Originally there is not a single thing. Where can dust be attracted?" After seeing the verse, the Grand Master invited Huineng to his room, where he explained the Diamond Sutra. Upon hearing the verse, "You should activate the mind without dwelling on anything." Huineng had an overwhelming realization that all things are not apart from their inherent nature. The main difference between Huineng's southern school of sudden awakening and Shen Xiu's northern school is that Huineng believed in the possibility of sudden enlightenment, while Shen Xiu believed in the more traditional, gradual enlightenment. The 5th Grand Master then gave Huineng the doctrine of immediacy, the bowl and the robe. He then told him that he would be the 6th Grand Master. Huineng went on to form the Dhyana Chan School of Sudden Awakening. The School of Sudden Awakening emphasizes that sudden enlightenment is possible, as well as the idea of non-duality and the oneness of everything. After his death, Huineng's teachings were collected and made into the Platform Sutra, which would be the only Chinese Buddhist sutra. This is the story of Huineng, a peasant worker and illiterate from the Thi'en province, who rose to become the 6th Grand Master and create the School of Sudden Enlightenment.